BWI Operations Team Management is required to verify that all HazMat orders shipped via UPS are packaged and labeled according to these process steps. Shipping containers must display one of the following certifications: the ISTA seal, or a minimum 200-pound bursting strength, or 32 edge crush test. All containers and packaging materials must be new or in like-new condition. No masking tape or duct tape is allowed for closure of non-specification packaging. Banding, strapping, or taping hazardous materials packages to form a bundle is not allowed. The shipping container must be of sufficient size to accommodate all required labels and markings, and handling labels and markings must be present if applicable. Example, orientation arrows for all liquids. Here the HazMat item is being removed from its original packaging so that it may be properly packaged for UPS shipping. Fold the flaps down on the bottom of the shipping container. The manufacturer's certification must be visible on the outside of the shipping container. Tape the bottom of the shipping container with 2-inch wide polypropylene tape using an H pattern. The tape must extend 3 inches over each ends of the shipping container. Place 2 more strips of tape across the center of the shipping container where the flaps meet, but not directly over one another. Insert the appropriate sized poly bag to line the shipping container. Pour a minimum 1.5 inch even layer of vermiculite into the bottom of the poly bag. Tighten the caps on all bottled items. Place a 2-inch strip of poly tape across the top of screw-on caps, and place a second strip of tape across the first strip to create an X over the screw-on cap. Place the HazMat item to be shipped in the appropriate size poly bag in an upright position. Remove excess air from the bag. Tie off the top of the bag with a 40-pound tension strength zip tie. Fold the tied tail down onto the side of the bagged item. Place the bagged item upright in the shipping container. Pay close attention to the orientation arrows and markings on the outside of the shipping container. There must be a minimum of 1.5 inches of space between the items and the shipping container walls. Fill the interior of the shipping container with vermiculite. Ensure that all spaces are filled completely to prevent empty spaces during settling. Fill the top with vermiculite. There must be a minimum of 1.5 inches of vermiculite between the tops of the inner containers and the top of the bag and shipping container. Totally fill the bag and space to prevent empty spaces during settling. Tie off the top of the bag with a 40-pound tension strength zip tie. Fold the tied tail down on top of the bag. Fold the flaps on the top of the shipping container with this side up visible on the outside. Tape the top of the shipping container with 2-inch wide poly tape using an H pattern. The tape must extend 3 inches over each end of the shipping container. Place 2 more strips of tape across the center of the shipping container, where the flaps meet, but not directly over one another. Determine the correct hazard classification label to use. This information is listed in the Haz Class column of the Customer Repack UPS Pick Ticket. Hazard classification labels may not be substituted for one another. Hazard classification labels are to be placed on one side of the shipping container, placed in the upper half of the side. Determine the correct proper shipping name. This information is listed in the proper shipping name column of the Listings of Hazardous Materials report, created with WMS options 53850 and 53852. Proper shipping names may not be substituted for one another. Only the correct name may be used. Proper shipping name labels are to be placed on one side of the shipping container, within 6 inches and aligned below the item's hazard classification label. Do not label over UN specification markings or over the manufacturer's or ISTA seal. Determine the correct technical name. This information is listed in the technical name column of the Listing of Hazardous Materials report. Technical name labels are to be placed immediately below the item's proper shipping name label. Determine the correct UN number. This information is listed in the UN field of the Listing of Hazardous Materials report. UN number labels are to be placed immediately below the item's technical name. Ensure the end of the tape extends 3 inches past the corners of the shipping